After hours. No? Open hours. Correct. Open hours. 37 on the air. Failure or no? Phone away because when it rings, we don't want to hear that loud madness. So, following up, this is the one with the broken DC jack, and I made the little wonderful illustration. But now that we are opening it up, we can go ahead and take a look at said illustration and see what is the story. First things first, let's get this battery out of the way. Start pulling all these screws. Okay, so the story so far, for anybody that may not have seen it, we gotta charge these, let's keep that in mind. The story so far along is this came in for a broken DC jack. You would plug it in and jack would move completely out of the way, so we had to repair that. And that's, I did the little illustration, and now that that is repaired, it's snugly back in place. When we powered it on, it took forever to boot, so we didn't know what was up with it. Once it did boot and we got it to boot into Windows, well, that was a whole nother state, and we didn't know from the beginning what. Wow, some of these ROMs are a pain. We did not know from the beginning what the story was on this, other than just the broken DC jack. However, suspecting a cleanup is one thing, because it's running slow. But we're going to go ahead and test another route real quick. Now, why didn't I test it when I had it open? Well, good question. Because we didn't know we were doing anything further with it at the time when it was open. So, going along that path is what led us to here. Now, I attempted doing a cleanup, and the cleanup did get some results. However, no signs of improvement. That is why I suspected hardware failure. So we're going to eliminate some stuff, eliminate some things from the system. I'm not 100% sure this is the one, so we will go ahead and, boy, screwdriver, for being magnetic, you're sure not picking a lot of screws up. We're going to go ahead and eliminate the ROM. A ROM can slow you down if it's bad. Now, have I seen, I don't know the specifics of will it slow you down if it's bad and malfunctioning without a disc in it. With a disc in it, oh my yes. Without, I'm not quite sure on the super technical side of that, but I do know they can slow you down. Now, if we can get this out without ripping the door off, I don't think it's going to happen, so we have to open this up further. I believe there are some screws under the ROM that need removed, so we're going to go ahead and pop the keyboard out of this one. And this is the one with the broken DC jack, so that was the only assumed job at the beginning. Moving on to further stuff, this lady wants her computer back and wants it running good, so that's what we're going for here. Anybody that did not tune in Sunday for the podcast, I'm not saying it was the podcast of all podcaster live stream, but I threw, we put some tough questions out there. Maybe you'll think like us, maybe not. Maybe you'll think differently than us, but we asked each other some questions. Had a fairly decent show, I would say. Alright, last couple screws and we'll be able to crack into this. That one is for the ROM. I'm going to put that there.
Go ahead and drink in here.
Coffee. Yeah.
You don't have any juices or anything?
Tea, maybe.
I can't have coffee.
You're on the internet. That's alright. Yeah. I got, yeah, oh no, nothing. Coffee. Water, do you want a water?
Yeah.
Here, have a water.
You're probably warm, right?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. All right. Remember, open for business. We try to do this while we're operating. What other choice is there? Not all of them, obviously. After hours is a different thing. Open hours, though, that's where it gets sketchy. You never know what's coming in that door. Duck. Alright, continuing on. I don't believe all these ribbon cables need pulled, but to get through the last couple, just to be sure, in case now this one we can see. Okay, it obviously runs down through the metal. They all do, but this one is connected to what may potentially be connected to the bottom case for the SATA interface where the ROM plugs in. So we know this one runs up to the power button. It's on the top case, so it should be routed that way. This one here will go to the trackpad. So these ones are safe. This one not so much, and obviously the keyboard has to come out. Now, getting the ROM out, if I remember correctly, last time was a nightmare on this. And why? Well, we don't know. It should just slide out. Maybe it was because it was upside, yeah. Attempting to pull on it, anything at all, just pulls the door. Now this is where you would think there's another screw, and exactly what I thought, no. We have a slot here. And does this do anything with it? Does it unlock it? No. As far as I know, that's the battery. Yeah. Again, just the battery. The door is a different story. We'll clip that back on and continue with the extraction. Where is it? Little clip. It comes out of the way as my old memory thought it remembered, my old brain. 3 more screws. So we'll set them to the side and finally crack into this case. We're going to do a double check of our work though, just to be a little more certain. Maybe our old eyes are missing something too. Go over all the screw holes. Alright, everything on the bottom is out. Everything there is out. This should separate fairly easy now. Just finding the place to start, and there's as good a place as any on the front. Okay, so we have a loose, more than likely a loose grommet. The first time I was in this, it's one of the little pop-in things where the screws that go through, and it was actually a screw that went through this hole here, and it would be on this corner. It went through this corner hole here, and it would be right under here where it mounted through the top. That was the one that was broke loose. I'm guessing it is loose again. I just used a little bit of super glue and did not tighten it down. So let's find out. Yes, same one or different one? Ooh, this could be tricky now. Let's find out. Where did it go? Am I completely out of line? I'm not seeing where this piece goes. Nope, the one that I glued held. Oh, so we have a whole new one. It is indeed a hinge that broke loose. So plastic laptops, not real. I like the more metal ones. So we're going to go ahead and repair that. While we're here, we're going to pull out the wonderful DC jack. Here, I can actually just give you a close-up without having to yank it entirely. Hopefully. Okay, so that there's a screw. Where is it? That's the screw there. And then there's this little metal fold. It's basically like a little holder, a sleeve that fits around the DC jack. Now they just had a piece of plastic protruding from the side here where this tab comes out. A little piece of plastic coming out of the DC jack, and it was screwed in. Plugging, unplugging over time broke that plastic. Now we have it wrapped in tin and then drilled a hole through, screwed it down. Should hold up a little longer than the plastic one did. We've got the drive right here. We're going to go ahead and get it out and move on over to the desktop computer. I mean, obviously you can put your ear to, ear to the computer case and listen. That is one way people do things, and you can hear a really loud or clicking, super failing, about to end its life hard drive that wants to commit suicide and leave this world. You can hear those ones, the clicking, the beeping, ones that are like failing, failure. Yeah, you can hear those ones. They're pretty obvious. Other ones, not so much. This one that we're not so much, not so sure on, we're going to go ahead and get, whoa. Oh, you're being a pain. Let's unplug you. There it goes. Okay, we got that out. We got to pull the drive from the actual cage. Our SATA to USB 3 will not plug in because of these metal tabs, and this will also not set down in the toaster. Our SATA to USB 3 docking station, where we test hard drives and move shuffle data around, do backups, copy. Yeah, won't fit in. So we got to pull these out. All right, dock free, or yeah, cage free from the hard drive. Going over to our dock. Let's, where's our black piece? What did we do with it? Good question. I think I dropped one. We'll move one over. This is what I was talking about. This is no easy way to explain it. When you have hard drives that, or a dock that a hard drive sets into, you have a certain profile that hard drive needs to set to. This is the same size, so you got to take these out when doing a big desktop hard drive. Okay, it's the same profile there. Now, yes, it's missing a piece, but that is for when you put these ones in. Obviously, people not familiar with this, there's an explanation. People familiar with it, I'm sorry for wasting any time. But yeah, that just basically lets your hard drive keep from leaning and putting any flex on the SATA ports here or the SATA connectors on in the actual docking station. So we have two of these. We're missing one. We'll find it another day. Okay, let's plug this drive in. Oh, we got a podcast playing. We should probably turn that down. We don't want to get copyright. Even though they don't publish their stuff on YouTube, they could probably still hit me with a copyright strike, and that's not what we want. That's not good. Alright, we're going to move over to the desktop computer now, and that would be here. Okay, we'll open up WD drive utilities. We are using, what is that thing? I don't even remember what type hard drive it is. Before I power the dock up, let's look. Okay, so we're using a Toshiba hard drive. I don't know if this is going to work. We may end up having to use C-tools. Not entirely sure. WD drive utilities closed. That's not going to work. Let's look for our other Western Digital. Where Or is it? Oh, sorry, people. Okay, so we don't have that. Let's open up O&O. O&O is a partition manager. However, it is useful for some things. I don't know what testing, there's my black piece. I don't know what potential testing we can do with it. Can we check the health, or is that more of an Acronis thing? GPT, USB, basic data partition. Search for new, remove, change drive, resize. Nope, this looks like it is only yes, only a hard drive partition utility, no extra features. (2014), open Acronis up. There you are. Okay, so backup recovery, tools and utilities, disk management, image mounting, backup conversion. We don't need any rescue media, boot sequence manager, backup and recovery. I don't think we're going to need any of this actually. So we may have to. Is that really not going to work? WD drive utilities won't work? Supported. Oh, never mind. That came with my other one. So let's look through. Trying to think of the name of it. There it is. Okay, and we found it. Hopefully this works for a Toshiba drive. We're going to let it go ahead and run and detect the hard drives in the system. We will have the few backup drives. We have a few backup drives on the system. I think 3 or 4 1 terabyters, and then the SSD boot drive. And now we have an additional, the laptop hard drive from this computer is plugged in over on the toaster. So back to the screen, our program has booted up. We'll maximize this for everyone. You can see here, let me unhighlight that. You can see these are showing as hard drives, like actual disks. That's their icon, and this one for a disk. It looks like an old floppy drive. And then this one has the little USB symbol. So there we go. There is our Toshiba drive. Let's go ahead and run some diagnostics. We're going to do a quick test and see if the drive holds up. Yeah, sure. That's already done. We don't need to do that. So physical drive 5, running the cable test. We'll see how this works out. Hopefully this passes, and it's just a bad infection slowing down our computer over here. We get a confirmation on the hard drive working, and hey, we will make this computer great again, just like the other few. We're hoping for success. It's Monday. We had to put out some fires today, so yeah. Can you really be hopeful on Monday? I don't know. We're hoping though. Checking back in on the status of what is this? Western Digital Data Lifeguard Diagnostics. Yeah, Western Digital Data Lifeguard Diagnostics. You can download this. This is a free utility. You don't have to pay for this. I've heard some people, other people I've worked with in the past, say only use it for Western Digital drives. However, I don't have one WD drive here. These are all Seagate. Now, if I plug in my external, the storage drives for client data here that are external, USB 3 drives, they're Western Digital drives, but in the system, all Seagate, one Toshiba, and then a Samsung SSD. And yes, it does work from what I can tell. I don't think they meant it wouldn't work. I think that people were saying it would work better with Western Digital drives, but I've used it on pretty much every brand drive. Does not discriminate against one of their biggest competitors, Seagate. It recognizes and reads Seagate drives just fine. Now if the drive is failing, of course, it's not going to see that. Or it may see it. Who knows? We don't know. We're here to test. We want to find out. So if you have suspicions of your hard drive failing, or it sounds a little noisier than it should if you haven't converted over and you're not using, not using an SSD in your computer, or, I used to carry flash drives around, and that's great. I carry one of these with me now. I have an interface pretty much most of the places I go that I can plug this in, whether it be home or work. And that's my two main places, between work and then playing with the kids, being dad, being husband, yeah. So I can plug this in pretty much anywhere. I don't need just a USB port or USB drive. This plugs in USB 2, but a little quicker than the flash drives. If you're not using an SSD, my original question, you're still using a spinning hard drive and you think it's loud, it's ticking, clicking, making noise that you haven't heard before, maybe try running the utility on it. So we have a pass here. That was the quick test. 2 minutes, that is about average. What are we running up here? Is this a terabyte drive? Yes. So we just ran the quick test drive. We could do an extended test to make sure. I'm going to go ahead and do that. This will take a lot longer. It will take a lot longer than that quick test. So can we stay tuned in for the whole thing? No, probably not. But we'll try. We'll try anything once. Going away from that, oh, it just actually kicked up and is working. So elapsed time 13 seconds. Time remaining, it's estimating it. It doesn't really know. Oh, hello. You drive. All right. Not too big of an interruption. Sorry that I cut the microphone. I don't want to throw people out there online without knowing, and I think that'd be kind of weird. I don't want to put signs up. I don't want people just walking in. The first thing I say instead of hello, I guess I could say hello. You're live on the internet now. People I know, I let them know that they are being a voice in the live stream, but strangers, I don't think that would go over too well, so we try not to do it that way. Alright, estimated time remaining 2:51, 2:50. I don't think we're gonna stay in that one for the too long of a haul and get that done. We can glue this. We'll do that in a little bit. Tomorrow we're really going to try and make an ass out of ourselves. We have a digitizer here. We're going to try and do the stream about this one. There are videos all over YouTube about replacing the outer glass, the digitizer on tablets, on phones. Some of them are easy. When you get a device where the outer glass, the digitizer, is not attached to the LCD screen, that's great. That's an easy job. But when you get ones where you're just trying to replace the outer glass as well, the outer glass is, and it is connected to the digitizer, which is pretty much any modern phone these days. I'm looking for one to show you. We should have something here real close. Okay, iPhone 5. We got an iPhone 5 right here. These, yes, and I think even the iPhone 4, 4S, your glass is attached. The digitizer, the glass digitizer in LCD, LED display are all one unit. They're a little harder if you just want to replace the outer glass. That takes some time, and chances are you're gonna break your screen, and you just have to buy a screen anyway. Can it be done? Yes. One of the risks that you run when trying to replace the outer glass, well, you got to get it hot to melt that optically clear adhesive. When I say optically clear adhesive, I mean think double-sided Scotch tape, but super thick, super gooey, and it holds your phone, the screen and digitizer together. So you got to get it hot, and there's a fine line between hot, where if you start prying on it, that outer glass is going to go down through the adhesive and break or crack your LCD, and then you get it hot to the point where it lifts off real easy, and then right past that point of hot where you can take the outer glass off easily, that's where that fine line is. Just a little hotter on most screens, and you'll put a yellow tint in your LCD. When your phone is off, you'll have this yellow tint to the screen that will not go away, and when it's lit up, it looks fine. When your screen's locked, you may have yellow marks, or if you heated the whole screen too hot, the whole LCD screen may have a yellowish tint to it, and what that is you got it hot enough and started to temper the glass and make it harder. Tempered glass is harder, and when you drop it, it may break easier. I don't know. I've never tempered a whole phone screen. No interest to. There's a fine line when working on these devices and swapping just the outer glass. So usually, and I've done it, it was a pain. Probably 25, maybe 30 devices I've replaced outer glass only on, and where the outer glass was attached to the actual screen. And yeah, no, my phone's broken there. I haven't replaced it yet. Soon we're going to do that one on the show, the live stream, open hours, maybe after hours, since it is mine. I don't want to suck up too much work time fixing my own stuff. But yeah, so we're going to tackle this one tomorrow. Tune back in for that. We'll do one more check-in. Now, being that this 2 hours 22 minutes on this test, and this could speed up dramatically if this person here indeed does not have a substantial amount of data. It could just rip through the end of it, like just speed right on through. It's probably, as far as I know, it's not dealing with data. Other utilities that would deal with data have that characteristic. When they run, they'll get through the data part and then just boom, nothing on the rest of the disk. They're done with it. But this, it could, if it works that way. I really don't think this one does. I think this is actually working with the disk, testing the disk. It's, an extended physical test of the drive. So whether there's data or not, I believe it's testing the bytes, blocks, sectors, whatever. I don't know that in-depth of a lingo, but it is testing the whole drive. So I believe it when it tells me 2 hours and 20 minutes. We would be waiting here that long to get to the end of this. So as long as this one passes, we're going to go ahead and assume that this computer is super sad, and we want to make it happy again, make it great, and we're going to continue the cleanup on that hard drive. We are going to plug it in as an external, do some scans on it, and try and remove any stubborn malware. Again, recommended gear. If you want to even mess around with this, I would have more than one computer. And when I say computer, I don't mean have a laptop and a phone, have a desktop and a tablet. Having more than one computer, have a laptop and a desktop, two desktops, two laptops, computers, actual computers. Recommended gear, get a SATA to USB 3 cable. Even go as far as to get a SATA or that's the wrong one, a SATA to USB 2, an older, the older version of that, and it looks kind of like your standard Android phone charger, but I'm trying to think how to show you. I don't have one handy, people, or I would. Looks like your standard phone charger, but it has kind of like a small or super, if you took and shrunk down an HDMI cable, it has those little curves on the edge of it, where like it's flat and then dips in. So yeah, USB 2 to SATA, USB 3 to SATA, 2 computers. Messing around with any of this, just recommend it. I mean, obviously there's a whole bigger list of gear, but that is what I have for today. Thank you for joining me on Open Hours. I appreciate everyone that watches. Well, hello there, neighbor.
Hey, now, hey, when you're not busy, would you
Over in a minute. Alright, so perfect time to end. Neighbors need help, don't mind helping them. We are about done. 9 minutes, people. 9 minutes. I checked the clock. It is official. That has been Open Hours for today. Tomorrow, remember, digitizer. We're going to try and do that one. We're going to continue this one. Remember, I want to do the whole process of this online. Maybe we'll have to do an Open Hours to catch up, because after this scan finishes and we do the malware scan, which I could potentially skip that part. We did that with another system. Get that scan done, get it back in the system, finish the cleanup that way. Unless it was this one I did. I don't remember. That's what happens when you do too many devices. Alright, thank you people for watching. I will see you tomorrow. Have a good evening. We're not going to have too many more days like this where it's nice out. Go enjoy it. I will see you again soon.